Welcome to Mike's apartment, where we review alcoholic drinks and sometimes some cuisine and have some comedy along the way. Tonight we are doing Game Master Support, where between the 50 years of experience that Thom and I have with role playing, we will try to answer your questions. Basically, we take three random questions from the internet. We do not identify the platform, we do not identify the person. However, that said, if you have a question for us and you want us to answer, please put in the comments, or you can either Discord me directly or you can email me directly, whatever you prefer. But yes, please share, subscribe, like, dislike, comment negative, comment positive, anything else. And again, I am Mike. I'm your host. With me is Thom, my co-host. Thom, how are we doing tonight?
I'm a little pissed right now because I thought we were doing brews reviews. A little commercial for an upcoming episode. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
there you.
not pissed.
All right. All
So we
right.
got we got brews reviews coming up, but
We do.
I'm doing good. This is our third episode we filmed today. That's why in the last three videos you see me wearing the same outfit. It's not because I'm lazy and don't shower or anything like that.
Well, I don't
We're
shower and I
catching up.
don't lazy, so I am. No, I'm just kidding.
We're catching up. We fell behind in the last couple weeks here
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
we gotta catch up.
life or getting sick or whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, alrighty. I
So
will. Without further ado, I will begin with the first question. Uh, this is an inclusive question. Okay. I tried to support my LGBTQ player, but now the rest of the table is turning on each other, and I think I mishandled it. One of my players is trans and asked if their character could transition in game as part of the story. I said yes. It felt like the right call. Another player pushed back, saying it felt like real world politics were being forced into the game. I shut that down pretty quickly at the table, probably more harshly than I should have. Now that player has gone quiet and disengaged, but a couple of the others have started privately messaging me that they feel like they can't speak honestly anymore without being labeled something. Meanwhile, the original player feels like I didn't defend them strongly enough because I didn't address things immediately in the moment beyond shutting them down. So now I've got one player who feels unsupported, I have one who feels silenced, and a table that is clearly taking sides. I thought that I was doing the right thing. Instead, I think I created a situation where no one trusts me to handle it fairly. How would you fix that without doubling down and making it worse? Thom?
hot take. Damn. Where is former Jay that we talked about in the last episode to help us with this?
Um, Farmer J
But
has not been contacted yet, so
no, yeah, no. We talked about that like
yeah.
10 minutes ago. But uh, hot damn.
How would you
Uh,
handle that, Thom?
I think now in previous conversations, and I think we had a similar situation in our last video. I might, if I were the DM or game master, I might individually message each person and say, okay, hey, okay, so this is the situation. Give me a second. My throat is scratchy tonight.
It's parched. It's like you're in a desert and that's the only oasis you can drink from.
I feel like I'm Bender and I haven't had enough alcohol,
Mm.
but I'm sobering up. Look at this beard. I was cleanly shaved this morning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, no, I in that particular situation where everybody in the all of the players are coming from different like perspectives,
Mm.
and they're all engaged, and maybe from a political point of view or whatever. Ultimately, you mentioned one of the players feels unsupported. I think they all feel unsupported.
Mm-hmm.
So I might try to present my as the game master or dungeon master. I might message individually all of them with a basic message. I would customize it to
Excuse
each
me.
person, but basically saying, look, here's a situation. We have the LGBTQ whatever person and their stuff, and now you have your response and whatever. I feel like everybody is frustrated because I'm not supporting everybody correctly. First off, what could I do to help you feel supported without um, like sidelining or pushing anybody out of the game?
Hmm.
Whether it's the LGBTQ person or the other people with whatever their personal opinions are. And then after getting feedback from each person, I'm an analytical person, but I don't know. I don't. Not everybody is the same way, right?
Sure.
I mean, get a second opinion maybe. After you get the feedback, collect your thoughts. I'm sure you know, or this person knows other game masters, and probably more than one game master or dungeon master. Maybe get individual advice from like two or three, whatever other people. Um, if you could provide more details to us after that, or to Mike specifically, uh, maybe maybe we can offer some better advice. But really, I think you need to get. I think you need more information from your group. Otherwise,
You know, I.
I
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
the game's not fun for anyone, and that's what I keep harping on is the game needs to be fun for everyone. So,
And this is how I would. Okay, just so I can say a, a word or two here. I'll just say this: them transitioning in real life has meaning,
mhm,
and it's symbolic even for them
mhm.
transitioning in the game.
And gaming is
However,
symbolic too. Yeah, right.
yeah,
Go on.
but however, the fundamentals of the game are not changing here, right? You still have a villain, or something, or some kind of thing that you're up against. You still have, external drama. It doesn't all have to be internal. As far as whether a character transitions or not, in my opinion, I mean, especially like in a group like that, who the fuck cares? I mean, do you really care that okay, your male let's just here's an example. Your male paladin suddenly becomes a female paladin. Does that really fundamentally change the game for you? And if so, why? Why do you even care? I mean,
Well,
this is
I
their thing.
narratively, I think it could change the game for that character and the rest of the party.
Then change the
But
narration. Yeah, I mean, update
I
the
but I
narration.
think
I
people were
mean,
letting their personal feelings get
exactly,
offended.
and that's like the thing. Yeah, it's exactly right. So I completely side with the transitioning player, which is they want to change something else. Let me ask you this question a different way. What if we had our lawful good like paladin type guy and he suddenly wanted to transition to chaotic good and just be like a free like spirit whatever, would anyone at the table really have a problem with that? And if the answer is no, then why the fuck would they have a problem with this? Who cares? The character's changing. It doesn't affect you. It
Yeah,
is
no,
not.
yeah, no, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like it's not. This is not something. And yes, sometimes personal shit like things in the real world do work their way out into a fantasy world.
Hmm.
But I would say as
Yeah,
long as it's not like overtly affecting anyone, such as like a transitioning like of a gender to or a sex from male to female or female to male, that is such a petty of all the things, it's not like there's like game mechanics based upon whether you're male or female anyways or something else. There's no game mechanics based on that. So it
They
doesn't.
could do some sort of like permanent
Yeah.
polymorph. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know, but it sounds like people were letting their real life feelings get offended in a game because somebody had an experience that they maybe weren't comfortable with.
but why would that?
And
Let me ask you this then. So not this is not about the person transitioning. This is about the person who apparently had to make the funny comment and it didn't really go over that well. That person specifically,
oh no, that I think that was our last video, the funny comment.
well, whatever it was. I mean, again, it's not that. Here's the thing. Here's the most basic thing. Respect other people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like respect them.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
something's going on in their life and they want it to kind of play out in the game, especially for something that's like not, it's not like the person is asking for like special like magical spells
yeah.
or magical items or something special out of game. They just want to be treated like a person. And I don't, and you know what? I have absolutely no problem with treating a person who wants to be treated like a person regardless of whatever change has happened. And that's just my opinion. I'm just saying you're this, you're that. These things have nothing in the game that like
Mhm.
mechanically change. Who cares? Treat them how they want to treat someone how they want to be treated. If they want to be treated as a lady, treat them as a lady. If they want to be treated as a man, treat them as a man. If they want to be treated as non-binary, like nothing, like either like not
Non-gender,
non-gendered,
not
yeah,
nothing.
yeah, not non-gendered, that's fine too. Treat them how they want to be treated. It doesn't it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt it doesn't hurt the game. It doesn't hurt anyone else. Anyways, all right, are we ready?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Anything?
I just wanted to
Sure,
say two things. So,
sure. Go ahead.
I have two basic principles that I kind of operate on that are non-religious or political or whatever. So, always assume positive intent. Everybody, I believe, every person on the face of this earth, whenever they act, they have positive intentions. So if you can accept that, then that's one step toward gaining balance in a game with characters that disagree. The other thing, I think maybe more specific to this game or this situation, I mean, it applies to a lot of situations. Is different does not mean wrong. Different can be wrong, but because somebody is different than you, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. So so if we were to apply those two things to this game, let's assume positive intentions from everybody involved. And the fact that they all have different opinions, that doesn't mean to make them wrong. Let's have a conversation about it as
Sure,
adults.
sure.
So, uh,
And if it even plays into the game as a thing that would matter, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like a character. Here's another question. Let's say it has nothing to do with the person's sexuality or identity or even orientation. What if what if a player simply wanted to explore a character that is different than themselves? What if
I
they
did that.
wanted to feel?
I did that.
What if they just wanted to know what it feels like to explore that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like, is that so
I
bad?
played. Do you remember that D20 Future game, RPG? It was D2. It was D20
Maybe.
Modern. They had a D20 Future, whatever. It was basically like a D20 system with modern characters, and they had
Okay.
another book for Future with like additional like
Hmm.
future stuff you could add
Sure.
to your character. But crap, my brain quit working. What's it called when you're born with both genders, male and
Oh,
female?
hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite.
Okay, I played a hermaphrodite named Joe. Can you hear my dogs barking?
Yes, I can hear your dogs barking.
Okay.
Keep going though.
Okay. All right. So I played a hermaphrodite named Joe because Joe was both masculine and feminine. And then in
Femulin.
game,
Femulin? Is that some
okay,
weird
my dogs
alien?
are howling. I need give me like 20 seconds. Cover me for 20
That's
seconds.
okay. He said femulin. That's one. That's one of the alien species. Ah, jeez. What a life. The femulins. Anyways. Oh, hey, we have Thom. We have Thom back now. It would appear.
Okay, all right. I apologize for that.
I
Mike,
was
I
more
asked you to
I was more musing about the femulin alien species who had invaded
that's
the
you know
masculines.
what? That's like the 10th gender or however many, whatever it is.
the
I don't know.
the femulins
But
have attacked the masculines.
I just ask since I had to go calm my dogs down from howling. So one of them will typically like bark at the window, and then my German, usually my foster dog Misha, and then Susie, my German Shepherd, will kind of start escalating to kind of like a whine, and then my back of the pack dog Skeeter, he'll start like whining, and then they just escalate into like a howl fest. And Mike, I ask you to link my uh,
Your
video that I made for me,
your
uh,
femulins.
like stopping a howling session while I was working. But I don't know if you can link that, or maybe we can edit the description. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
But anyways,
What was your last
anyways,
thought about? I think you had
so
like one final thought on this, so we could.
yeah, no. So I mean, I played a. So I am a cis white male. What right? I mean, I was born a white male, and I identify that way. And but I played a hermaphrodite, and that was really awkward for me to kind of play out. And then throughout the game, she eventually chose a gender, which was female, which is also I'm not a female. I have no idea how women, because biologically you're the male and female biological and mental processes are different. So that was an experiment for me to try to like think in three different perspectives. And I don't know. I'm trying to remember what was the exact question that we had on this. I got distracted with the dogs and all
I think
that.
we're good on the answer.
Okay.
Oh, let's see here. All right.
Different isn't wrong, and always assume positive intentions from everybody else.
Oh, here's a fucked up one. Okay.
Uh oh.
Okay. I
I
think
wonder if I can get Misha up here.
let me
Come
get
here.
it here. I think
Come
one of
here.
my players is crossing
Look.
into stalking behavior toward another player, and I
This is
don't
my
know how.
foster dog, Misha.
Are you
Sorry.
getting this?
Yeah,
So
I'm getting
so
it. You,
so
you have
I,
a
I think
soccer
I
player
think one of my
question.
players is crossing into stalking behavior towards another player, and I
Uh
don't
oh.
know how far I'm responsible for stepping in. We've got a female player who's been great, engaged, consistent, no issues. Another guy at the table started showing interest. At first, it was harmless, compliments, in game interactions, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then it escalated. He started messaging her constantly outside the game. She didn't respond much, but he kept going. Then he started asking me questions about her life, like her
Oh
schedule, whether she talks about him,
no,
things like
no.
that. I shut that down, but now he's
Good.
finding excuses to sit next to her, steering the game so the characters are always together, and getting weirdly intense if anything interrupts that. She finally told me she's uncomfortable, but she doesn't want to cause drama by making it a big issue. I'm realizing that it isn't just awkward anymore, it's crossing the line. Do I remove him immediately? Do I confront him directly? And how much of this is actually my responsibility as the DM versus something outside of the game? Go, Thom. how you
Well,
handle the stalker.
there are a lot of fucking levels there, and I don't have it in front of me, so I might forget a couple things. So first off, she's already stated she's uncomfortable,
Yep.
but she has not taken the position of commenting on that to that person, apparently,
Hmm.
or at least to the DM's knowledge. So, what I might first ask as a DM is, have you told John Doe that you're uncomfortable with those advances?
Hmm.
Which I'm assuming she hasn't, because a lot of role players that I know are passive aggressive or whatever. They don't confrontation with real life people isn't something that they do. Uh, well, with a few exceptions. One T and that lawyer guy we role played with,
Mm,
and a few other people. They
yeah.
sometimes do RL confrontations. But anyways, but I might say as the DM, I might ask my female player, have you said anything to John Doe? And if not, do you want me to do something about it? That sort of thing, because I want to give my players agency to do what they feel comfortable doing. The game is about having fun and not putting them in areas where they are uncomfortable. And so if she's uncomfortable addressing the issue, and she communicates so this is all about communication again.
Sure.
Everything seems to be coming back to
Well,
communication in the last three episodes.
that's what it's all
Well,
about.
I mean, not every game, right? So, so if you have a player that identifies they're not uncomfortable, that they are uncomfortable addressing a situation that they are not comfortable with, that's really complicated to say all that shit. Then then I might recommend the DM step in and say, you know what, you're making Jennifer Lawrence, who I really appreciate her career, uncomfortable in my game. Uh, Jennifer Lawrence is an actress, right? I can't remember.
Yes, she's a big actress. She was what's her
Wait,
face
you,
in the new
you know.
X-Men
So, anyways,
and lots of other movies. I don't know. Also on
yeah,
the
I know.
hot, she's also on the Hot Ones. That I know you probably saw that one. I'm sure
I,
you've seen the
well,
Jennifer Lawrence Hot Ones before, but anyways.
I have a case of hot ones out in the kitchen that I've been using to spice my food the last few days.
Mm.
So, but that's a hot sauce, not a
But
pretty woman.
but
But
anyways, back
anyways,
to
no.
this. Yeah.
Back to this. But the stalker thing, like, I might address the that from if they are worried about a person being a stalker. I knew a girl in college who her and her mom were put into like some kind of protective custody, whatever. And they were moved to Brainerd, Minnesota, where I went to college, and I met her at college. And because they were put in protective custody, something to do with I don't know if this is a true story or not, but she said her ex boyfriend like was really aggressive and all that kind of stuff, and so they hid her and her mom. I I don't know. I'm not remembering all the details. That was the mid '90s, late '90s, and I didn't know her very well. And but I remember she said that her ex boyfriend had found her, and they had a restraining order on him,
Hmm.
and he was coming too close for the restraining order. So what I did, I immediately drove her down to the police department in Brainerd, Minnesota, to report the issue. And they were like, whatever. And
Well, that's
on one,
pretty horrible. Okay,
well,
that's pretty
I mean,
bad. Oh man.
let me say this. Now, I did not know what I was doing with that. I was always like, if there's an immediate threat like that, like a friend of mine in high school told me he was thinking about committing suicide. So I reported that to the school's what do they call it? Not psych officer. I don't know,
The
whatever.
counselor, yeah, whatever.
This counselor at the high school. A couple years later, a friend of mine, I found out his dad hit him, so I reported that to the school's counselor. That's what I did back then. I didn't know what to look for like to confirm if that was like a good threat or not. So I just took
Thom,
her to
you
the
did
police
you did the
department.
right thing. You did the right thing. I
I
mean,
did.
yeah. I
And
mean,
so in this case, if you're actually concerned that somebody's becoming a stalker, there might be legal requirements for you to report that.
yeah.
And I always err on the side of caution. So if you're worried about somebody being a stalker in your game and the person being stalked, in this case Jennifer Lawrence, because that's the name I used, uh, then tell somebody.
Sure.
If you're honestly worried about somebody's safety, report it.
Okay.
If you're not worried about their safety, find out what's going on.
All right. I actually have nothing else to add to that. That's perfect. I would do exactly the same thing. I would report it. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's nothing else to do. All right. So let's hop over to our final question. Our final. One of my players, oh, you're gonna love, oh,
Uh,
you're gonna love this shit.
wait, are my dogs involved?
No,
Like specifically
no,
Misha, Peter, and
no,
Susie?
no. Um, hold on. One of my players is using material from the Book of Vile Darkness, and I think
Oh,
he's taking it way too seriously. At first, it was just flavor, dark rituals, evil aligned characters, that kind of thing. I allowed it because it fit the campaign tone. Uh, but over time, he's been pushing it further. He wants detailed descriptions of the rituals, wants the role play to extend across scenes involving devotion to real entities, and keeps asking me where the line between in game fiction and actual practice is. Last session, he asked if his character could perform a ritual that he said was based on something real, and he wanted me to describe it in detail so he could get it right. That's where I shut it down. Now he's
oh,
arguing
good
that
idea.
now he's arguing that I'm limiting his role play and breaking immersion. That I'm allowing that I allowed dark content before, so that I should suddenly pull back. I'm not worried about the game anymore. I'm worried about where this is going outside of the game. How do you draw a hard line here without it turning into something, or turning into a bigger confrontation?
Okay. If that person wants immersion, they should join a furry group. None of the role playing games I've ever and I'm not dissing furries because my trans friend they're a furry and that a lot of that does include immersion and stuff like that or join a LARP group like a live action role playing group. But
I think it
if you're
goes
in
a
a
little beyond that. I mean, this is
yes, it could. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never done live action role playing,
I have.
but
Um,
but but uh but tabletop role playing is not about immersion, right? I mean, in my opinion,
well, to some degree,
I mean to some degree. I mean, you
and you
try to
get
play your
into it.
character.
Yeah,
You
you get
try
into
to
it.
make like a couple videos ago we talked about somebody who maybe made a comment in game that was offensive to somebody who had just come out. And I mean that was speculation, but from our perspective, we made speculative comments. But full immersion, where you're, and this is another question that we had kind of like that, where the person was 100% of the time they were in character, whether it was in game or out of game. And no, fuck that. No,
Um,
this is
yeah,
not a game where we practice satanic rituals. We can gloss over those details. If somebody wants to get more specific, I mean, you can talk to them if it feels reasonable in your game, that's fine. But it feels like there's crossing a line, put a hard stop on it. And if somebody complains about it, tell them to find another game because you're not
yeah,
comfortable with it. The
I
game is about having fun for everybody.
yeah. I would say the whole okay. uh, Book of Vile Darkness, even at its time, was pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
it's humdrum. It's whatever. I would just say, yeah. I mean, Tom, I'm mostly inclined to agree with you. You you can't take it too far. It's a fictional setting.
Mhm,
They're just
mhm,
making
mhm.
they're making things there to kind of supply like a mechanics point of view. Also, I'd say most of the features in the Book of Vile Darkness are meant for villain characters, like NPCs that are whatever. They're not really meant for the player to go along with.
Unless
I
if you make an evil
well,
campaign, but
even then, I've actually for that I have an answer for that too. I think evil campaigns ultimately don't work. If you're really playing your character as evil, sometimes lawful evil characters can kind of get along, but once you hit neutral evil and chaotic, well, especially chaotic evil,
mm,
you don't have a game anymore because
no. Well, I think
chaotic evil if you're accurately playing a chaotic evil character, you are against there is no party, there is no group,
yeah.
there's no organization, there's no cohesion. You do whatever the fuck you want in the moment, and it's whatever, and that is not conducive to a
I
normal
think
game. I mean, that's
no. You said normal game, which I was kind of try to
yeah.
say from a different approach, but I think for an evil campaign with those kinds of characters to work, you need some experienced role players who agree that the game and the story is more important than whatever, and having fun, whatever. So when a chaotic evil character does something, the party doesn't fucking turn on them and boot them in the
but
face
but
like I
that's
got
the
in that Star Wars game.
but that's the problem though.
Yeah.
Inherently, an evil character is going to look out for themselves, number one, and
Well,
if it
lawful evil, neutral. What?
well, it
If you have
depends.
I think if you have an experienced group of role players who know how to manage that and keep the game going and cohesive, but in
Now,
this case,
up
that doesn't
there,
seem to be the case.
up there on that shelf, I can show you a book. It's just called Evil. It's about evil role playing. And one of the first things it says is if you want to play stupid evil, like you just want to do what you want, take what you want, do whatever, and it's all short term, like whatever.
Mhm.
They're like, this is not the book for you. They're like, there is no book for you because you already know how to do it. If you want to just be selfish and ignorant and just grab out at everything, then you don't really need like a book about how to role play that. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
right.
But that's
That's why I was
yeah.
saying like
You
experienced
need to
role
be
players
smart
who
evil. Yeah.
agree on what
Here,
the
I gotta
game
send it
is
for a
to
second.
be.
Ooh. Oh.
What happened?
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm just sorry. I have to stand up for a second. Whew. Anyways,
Oh no, there's a beholder.
there's a
I'm in the eye of the beholder. How do I
Andy's
look?
chaotic evil. But all right.
By the way, how do I
Oh,
look in the eye of the beholder?
you'll
Am I
you'll have
beautiful?
you're beautiful, Tom. All right. Well,
Two
that's
thumbs up.
pretty much it for this evening. Yeah. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Um, send me a Discord message, send me an email. Otherwise, like, dislike, subscribe, share, all that. Um,
Hmm.
we'll talk about it later. But all right, that's all I have. Have a great night,
Uh,
everyone.
yeah. Good night.